3 out of every 10 adults in Buffalo, New York are functionally illiterate. To me, learning to read was like learning to walk, a part of growing up that I thought all children experienced. But down the streets, my peers were learning without any books available in their homes. When I was in middle school, I began volunteering for Read to Succeed, an organization that made reading a community priority by pairing volunteers with young learners. After school, I read with elementary students and watched their disdain for at school transform to an eagerness to read. However, pressing financial situations got in the way of our program, and slowly older students dropped out, younger students lost interest, and a lot of progress was lost. Armed with this recognition that systemic problems impede well-intentioned programs, I started Citizens of the World, a club that enacted innovative solutions for our community through learning and engagement. We engaged with the refugee community and created bias training workshops in our middle schools. Through this work, it became apparent to me that without the right to an education, an equitable society is impossible. As an undergraduate, I was eager to study education policy and get involved in local education issues in Providence, Rhode Island. I started as an after-school volunteer for a local elementary school, and later decided to journal the state takeover the Providence schools through a podcast. The most influential experience I had in studying and working in Providence schools was as a chapter organizer at the Providence Student Union, or PSU. The Providence Student Union is a student-powered organization which trains students to create campaigns to better their schools. With PSU, I met Martha, a 16-year-old who had recently immigrated to the United States with limited English ability. Martha spent our first meetings asking her friends to translate and separating herself from the group. However, after the meetings were over, I watched Martha talk and laugh with her friends in Spanish. I learned that she, along with other English language students, felt humiliated in their classes by teachers who discouraged translations. I was eager to create a compassionate environment that Martha could showcase her energy with the PSU community. To this end, I encouraged Martha to share more ideas in any language and made our space bilingual friendly. I also positively reframed Martha's language skills by highlighting the importance of having translations on all our surveys. Over time, Martha's personality began to emerge, and she felt more confident practicing her English. By the end of the semester, Martha even volunteered to present the work we had accomplished to over 40 students at our winter celebration dinner. While Martha's stories showed me the importance of empowering students, the biggest challenge I saw in the Providence schools through PSU, my journalism, and volunteering in the elementary school was not the lack of will among students and teachers, but the structural inequities that allowed schools in Providence, like in Buffalo, to fail students. Even with the most dedicated teachers, empowered students, and reform-minded administrators, cannot overcome the impossible barriers that allow some children to never learn how to read, while others are given the tools to attend Ivy League schools, like I was. This is why I want to be a Lead for America Fellow. My time in Providence and at Brown gave me the opportunity to understand systemic barriers that prevent children from getting access to the education I had. Armed with this knowledge and a deep respect and gratitude for the Providence community who welcomed me as a young learner, I want to serve to uplift community members working against inequality in the city. I want to radically reimagine a Providence where children have access to adequate education, and the Lead for America Fellowship will give me the tools to support innovative and community-based solutions to educate the children of Providence. Providence is my new home, and I will fiercely fight for my community to have a more just and equitable future.